The boundary between a luxury superyacht and a military-grade submarine has just been violently erased. Imagine sitting perfectly dry inside a high-end living room as it suddenly plummets 5,000 feet into the crushing, pitch-black abyss of the ocean. From self-sustaining floating cities completely disconnected from human civilization, to high-speed aquatic interceptors that grow heavy tank tracks and crawl straight up rocky cliffs, the laws of physics have been completely shattered. Join us, and let's discover incredible water vehicles you won't believe exist. Let's go.
Number 13. Foil 1 Pegasus. Imagine trying to ride a bicycle that suddenly sprouts wings and starts hovering 3 feet in the air. That is exactly what happens when you pilot the Foil 1 Pegasus, a single-seat electric hydrofoil built to completely defy water friction. Most traditional boats have to forcefully plow through heavy waves, wasting massive amounts of fuel and energy just to move forward. This machine operates on a completely different level. Constructed entirely from aerospace-grade carbon fiber, the entire vessel weighs an astonishingly low 282 pounds. To put that into perspective, this entire high-tech watercraft weighs less than a standard household refrigerator. As you push the throttle and accelerate, the hidden underwater wings generate extreme lift, physically raising the entire hull out of the water. Suddenly, the violent crashing of waves disappears. You are left gliding in total silence at 35 miles per hour, completely emission-free. It uses a hyper-efficient electric motor powered by dual swappable torpedo batteries, meaning you can swap them out in seconds and keep flying across the surface. The steering mechanism is stripped straight from a high-performance motorcycle, making it incredibly intuitive to maneuver, even if you have zero boating experience. But while hovering silently above the ocean sounds like the ultimate thrill, what happens when a massive engineering team decides to harness explosive hydrogen gas to power a high-speed offshore interceptor?
Number 12. Chase Zero. When you think of standard boat fuel, you probably picture thick, polluting diesel that leaves a toxic trail in the water. Emirates Team New Zealand completely shattered that outdated reality when they developed the Chase Zero. This is a groundbreaking hydrofoil chase boat powered entirely by advanced hydrogen fuel cells, effectively turning highly volatile gas into clean, unrelenting speed. To understand this power, imagine driving a heavy semi-truck on the highway, but instead of burning gasoline, its exhaust only releases pure, harmless water vapor. That is the reality of the Chase Zero. Designed originally for the intense demands of the America's Cup racing tournament, this vessel stretches over 32 feet long and easily accommodates 6 crew members in absolute comfort. Utilizing high-tech Toyota hydrogen cells, it achieves a staggering cruising range of 180 miles on a single charge. It slices through the ocean at an unbelievable top speed of 57 miles per hour, gliding above the chop with zero emissions and almost zero noise. The sheer technological complexity required to stabilize a massive boat hovering on underwater wings at those speeds is nothing short of an engineering miracle. It completely rewrites the rulebook on sustainable marine transportation. Yet, if you think harnessing hydrogen is an extreme way to conquer the ocean, just wait until you see the terrifying hybrid machine that fused a helicopter cabin with a high-speed catamaran hull.
Only 1% of people know the dark truth behind what we are about to show you next. If you want to be part of the few who actually know what's happening in the world, subscribe and leave a like right now. Done? Look at this.
Looking at this bizarre contraption for the first time, you might assume an aircraft crashed directly onto a pair of floating pontoons. The Helicat is one of the most visually confusing yet brilliantly engineered watercrafts ever unleashed on the open water. Created by a visionary designer named Sandy Williamson, this machine takes the sleek aerodynamic cabin of a modern helicopter and fuses it perfectly onto a twin-hull catamaran base. Why combine these two radically different vehicles? because a helicopter cabin is meticulously shaped to slice through heavy wind resistance, while a catamaran hull provides unmatched stability on violent, choppy waters. Think of it like taking the aerodynamic bullet shape of a high-speed sports car and placing it on the wide, untippable chassis of a monster truck. Even when facing aggressive ocean swells, the Helicat remains entirely balanced. Powered by aggressive dual 90-horsepower engines, this strange hybrid can tear across the surface at speeds up to 43 miles per hour. Weighing just over 3,000 pounds, it is light enough to be hauled on a standard trailer, but robust enough to handle severe weather conditions that would force normal boats back to the dock. It delivers pure adrenaline and safety in a completely alien package. However, skimming the ocean surface is only half the battle. What if a luxury boat was designed to physically sink below the waterline to hide from the chaos above?
Number 10. Submarine. The line between a traditional high-end yacht and a covert military submarine has just been completely erased. Meet the Submarine, a hyper-advanced luxury watercraft that fundamentally redefines what it means to explore the deep ocean. Most recreational boats restrict you to merely looking at the water from above, like staring at a locked treasure chest without the key. The Submarine shatters this limitation by introducing a revolutionary semi-submersible hybrid design. On the surface, it functions exactly like a premium high-speed cruising yacht, allowing passengers to soak up the sun and enjoy the open breeze. But when the push of a button activates its advanced buoyancy control system, the entire vessel physically descends, submerging the passenger cabin beneath the crashing waves. Imagine sitting in a luxurious climate-controlled living room that suddenly drops straight into a massive real-life aquarium. The ultra-thick, pressure-resistant glass windows offer a pristine, panoramic view of the alien world lurking below, keeping you completely dry and comfortable while surrounded by marine life. It merges elite leisure with cutting-edge exploration technology, giving high-end consumers a dual-threat vehicle that dominates both realms. But while the Submarine only dips just below the surface, another engineering marvel was built to plunge terrified tourists thousands of feet straight down into the crushing, pitch-black abyss.
Number 9. U-boat cruise sub. Descending into the deep ocean is usually a highly dangerous, claustrophobic nightmare reserved only for elite researchers in tiny, cramped spheres. The U-boat cruise sub destroys that terrifying stereotype by transforming deep-sea exploration into a first-class luxury experience. Manufactured by a leading submersible company, this incredible underwater vehicle was engineered to safely transport up to 11 civilians into the dark, crushing depths of the sea. It plunges an astonishing 5,500 feet below the surface, making it the deepest diving tourist submarine on the entire planet. To understand the sheer pressure at this extreme depth, imagine having the weight of an entire adult elephant pressing down on every single square inch of the glass. To survive this unimaginable force, the submarine is constructed with massive, ultra-thick acrylic spheres that offer absolutely breathtaking, unhindered views of the ocean floor. The interior is surprisingly spacious, featuring rotating seats that ensure every single passenger gets a flawless view of the glowing bioluminescent creatures outside. It is the ultimate fusion of extreme survival engineering and absolute comfort. Yet while exploring the crushing depths of the ocean requires slow, meticulous movements, what happens when you need to survive on the surface during a catastrophic, world-ending storm? The next vehicle was built specifically for surviving the apocalypse.
Number 8. Seacat Walrus. If modern society collapsed tomorrow and you needed an unbreakable escape vehicle, the Seacat Walrus is exactly what you would want in your arsenal. Most boats are entirely useless the second they touch dry land, instantly becoming stranded pieces of heavy metal. This extreme survival vessel scoffs at the shoreline because it is a fully amphibious fortress equipped with a heavy-duty, deployable wheel system. Built by a company entirely obsessed with extreme disaster preparedness,
The walrus rolls directly out of the water and onto the beach. Think of it like a heavily armored military jeep that can instantly transform into a high-speed patrol boat the moment it hits the water. Constructed from marine-grade high-impact aluminum, it is practically indestructible yet surprisingly agile, capable of surviving vicious ocean storms and violent debris. On the water, it reaches speeds of nearly 30 miles per hour, allowing you to rapidly outrun incoming threats or chaotic weather systems. When it reaches land, the wheels deploy, allowing it to crawl through difficult terrain at 3 miles per hour. It may sound slow, but when you are navigating through a flooded, apocalyptic landscape, that flexibility is the absolute difference between life and death. But while this tactical craft is built for gritty survival, the next amphibious vehicle takes shoreline dominance and wraps it in a terrifying tank-like package that tracks across the sand.
Number 7. Iguana Pro Interceptor. Imagine a sleek, high-speed missile boat that suddenly sprouts the mechanical treads of a heavy military tank and drives straight up a rocky cliff. This is the terrifying reality of the Iguana Pro Interceptor, a machine engineered to conquer the absolute harshest coastal environments on Earth. Forget about using a trailer or a docking ramp. This high-performance watercraft relies on a brutal, integrated landing gear system. At the press of a button, a hydraulic shear mechanism violently deploys 2 massive iron-free rubber tracks reinforced with bulletproof Kevlar. In just 8 seconds, the boat lifts itself out of the water and begins crushing the terrain beneath it. Built from high-strength marine aluminum and carbon fiber, it has the durability of a combat vehicle. When the tracks retract, they vanish seamlessly into the hull, allowing the interceptor to instantly transition into a speed demon. Powered by massive marine engines, it aggressively tears across the ocean at a staggering 63 miles per hour. It acts as the ultimate rapid response vehicle, capable of launching from a remote rocky beach, intercepting a target miles offshore, and returning to land without ever slowing down. But what if staying on the water or the shoreline simply isn't enough? What if your escape vehicle needed the ability to violently launch itself into the sky and completely disappear into the clouds?
Aviation and boating have always been 2 completely separate, highly expensive hobbies until the Icon A5 violently smashed them together. This is not just a boat, and it is not just a standard light aircraft. It is a futuristic amphibious machine that gives you the absolute freedom to conquer the skies and the sea. Most airplanes require a massive paved runway and thousands of dollars in hangar storage fees. The Icon A5 completely eliminates those barriers. Constructed largely from lightweight, hyper-strong carbon fiber, this plane can land smoothly on a choppy lake, drive straight up onto a sandy beach, and then fold its massive wings backward like a resting insect. To put that into perspective, you can literally park this entire airplane inside a standard suburban garage and tow it behind a regular pickup truck. Powered by a highly reliable 100 horsepower engine, it cruises through the air at roughly 98 miles per hour, prioritizing breathtaking views and smooth handling over aggressive speed. It even includes a full-frame parachute system. If the engine catastrophically fails mid-air, a massive canopy deploys, floating the entire aircraft and its passengers safely back to the ground. It is the ultimate multi-terrain toy. But while the A5 offers an incredible escape for 2 people, what if you wanted to pack an entire luxury apartment into an ultra-compact, high-speed floating pod?
Number 4. Nemesis 1. Imagine a yacht so massive and so technologically advanced that it looks like a villain's headquarters from a futuristic spy movie. The Nemesis 1 is a breathtaking 330-foot luxury catamaran that promises to be the world's first zero-emission hydrofoil superyacht. Traditional superyachts are notorious for burning thousands of gallons of toxic fuel every single hour. The Nemesis 1 completely rewrites the rules by relying entirely on a retractable hydrogen-electric propulsion system and a massive array of high-tech solar panels. It generates a staggering 150 kilowatts of free energy just from the sun. But the most terrifying and impressive feature is its patented autonomous sail technology. The massive, towering sails operate like robotic airplane wings, utilizing advanced computer sensors to automatically adjust their angle and shape to capture the perfect amount of wind, requiring zero human effort. As the vessel accelerates, massive underwater hydrofoils deploy, physically lifting this colossal multi-ton mansion entirely out of the water. It glides silently above the waves at an unbelievable top speed of over 57 miles per hour. It is a floating palace that completely eliminates drag and pollution. But what if a single yacht wasn't enough? What if an elite group of architects decided to abandon the land entirely and construct a self-sustaining floating megacity?
Number 3. Whale Pyramid. This is not a boat. This is a fully independent, floating civilization designed to survive the total collapse of modern society. The Whale Pyramid is a colossal, self-sufficient aquatic city that fuses the towering grandeur of ancient Mayan temples with ultra-advanced survival technology. Imagine a massive, multi-tiered pyramid floating gracefully in the middle of the ocean, completely disconnected from the power grids and governments of the mainland. Built on a massive modular floating foundation, this colossal structure spans 10 towering floors, offering over 32,000 square feet of usable space. It houses everything a thriving community needs: luxury hotels, massive gyms, floating gardens, underground cinemas, and sprawling social spaces. But the true genius lies in its unbreakable self-reliance. It features massive water turbines and sprawling solar panels that generate endless electricity from the sea and the sun. A high-tech desalination plant sucks in toxic salt water and purifies it into endless gallons of pristine drinking water. It is a completely closed-loop ecosystem, capable of keeping hundreds of people alive and comfortable in the middle of a barren ocean. It is the ultimate blueprint for the future of human habitation. However, if a floating city represents humanity's desire to survive, the next machine represents humanity's obsession with absolute, unrestrained power and excess.
When extreme wealth meets borderline insanity, you get the Colossi Mega Yacht, an absolute titan of the sea that defies all logic and reason. This is not just a vessel to transport the elite. It is a towering, floating skyscraper designed to dominate the skyline of any harbor it enters. Measuring an absurd 262 feet long, the Colossi makes traditional luxury yachts look like cheap, inflatable pool toys. The sheer scale of this machine is impossible to comprehend until you realize it contains 5 massive, sprawling decks that are interconnected by high-speed glass elevators. The interior features a colossal outdoor swimming pool, a state-of-the-art fitness center, a private deployable beach club, and enough luxury suites to house 20 guests in pure opulence. To push this floating mountain through the water, it relies on a cutting-edge hybrid propulsion system, backed by sprawling solar arrays, masking its massive carbon footprint with eco-friendly engineering. But dominating the ocean with this floating fortress comes at a staggering, mind-numbing cost. Securing ownership of this architectural anomaly requires an investment of well over $100 million. It is the absolute pinnacle of human extravagance. Yet there is still one vehicle that eclipses this yacht, a machine so highly classified and terrifyingly advanced, it blurs the line between boat and submarine.
This is the ultimate, mind-blowing climax of aquatic engineering. Most submarines are heavy, claustrophobic, and incredibly difficult to launch. The Deep Flight Dragon is a radical, multi-purpose exploration machine that behaves like an agile fighter jet trapped underwater. This hybrid craft is specifically built for those who crave the absolute freedom to conquer the ocean from every conceivable angle. Instead of relying on massive cranes and deep-water docks, the Dragon's revolutionary design allows it to launch rapidly from a simple beach, operating flawlessly in water as shallow as 3 feet. On the surface, it rips across the waves with the aggressive speed of a long-range patrol boat. But the second you pull back on the throttle, the entire craft seamlessly transitions into a deep-diving submersible, plunging 500 feet straight down into the crushing darkness. Imagine driving a high-speed sports car that can suddenly phase through solid matter. That is how the Dragon moves from the air to the abyss. For elite missions, upgraded configurations allow it to shatter the 1,000-foot barrier, accessing alien depths that few military vehicles can even reach. Boasting a massive 500-mile range, it offers zero compromises. It is the ultimate escape vehicle, allowing you to completely vanish from the surface of the Earth in a matter of seconds, leaving behind no trace except the ripples of your descent.
If you thought this was terrifying, you are not ready for what they found in the video on your screen. Click it right now. The truth is worse than you think.